Hello children, how are you doing? I hope you all are good. Welcome to the video lecture series by Winning Edge. I am Daljinder, your mentor for mathematics. And as I told you in the previous video, we'll be doing an exercise sheet on ratio and proportion. So here we are. Now let's look at question number 1. Before we begin with the question, I would advise you to keep your notebooks with you so that you can also solve it alongside and you get a hang of the questions. Okay. Now let's look at question number 1. Two numbers are in the ratio 7:9. As I already told you, whenever we have numbers or angles in the ratio, you always add x to them, right? So our numbers will be 7x and 9x, right? If 10 is subtracted from each one of them, we are subtracting 10 from both the numbers, okay? The remainder, what is left out, whatever the answer is what? The answer is 8:11. That is 8 by 11. Find the numbers. Very, very simple question. So first statement that you need to write down, you write down, let the numbers be equal to 7x and 9x, okay? Now we are subtracting 10 from both of them. Now remember, these numbers are still in ratio. They are not separate, okay? They are still in ratio. So we'll write down 7x upon 9x. We are subtracting 10 from them. So from both the numbers, I'll subtract 10. The remainder, whatever the answer is, in what ratio? It is in ratio 8 by 11. So I'll write down equal to 8 by 11. Okay. Now what do we need to do? We need to cross multiply this. 11 will get multiplied here. This denominator will get multiplied here. So what will you write it down? 11 will come this side and this denominator will come here. That is 9x minus 10. I'll remove the other part from here. Okay. So this is, and this is how our question was. Okay. So we have 7x minus 10 here. And we have 9x minus 10 here. We'll multiply. 11 7s will give you 77x. 11 into 10 will give you 110. 8 into 9 will give you 72x. And 8 into 10 will give you minus 80 here. Now we'll assemble the like terms and unlike terms. So 77 and 72 are like terms. Let's bring 72 on this side. 77 minus 72. 77x minus 72x. And let's take 110 on the other hand. So it will become 110 minus 80. 77 versus 72 jayega, what is left? We are left with 5x. From 110, if you subtract 80, it will give you 30. So x comes out to be 30 by 5, which is 6. Now it has asked us the numbers. Now x is not the answer. The answer is the numbers. What are the numbers? The numbers we have assumed as 7x and 9x. So we are actually going to put this value of x into the numbers we have assumed. Now 7x means 7 into 6. 7 into 6 will give you 42. This is your first number. Second number is 9x. 9 into 6 will give you 54. So 54 is your second number. So these are the two numbers which were asked, and this is our answer. So I hope you understood this question. Now let's look at question number 2. So question number 2 says find the third proportional to 6 and 18. Now let's understand what is the meaning of third proportion. Now we studied the properties of proportion and we saw that basic proportion can be written as A is to B proportionate to C is to D, right? Now here, but we have only two numbers and it is asking us the third proportion. So what do we do in this case? So we write it down as A is to B proportionate to B is to C. Whatever the two numbers are given to you, you'll use them as A and B. So what does this mean? This means A upon B is equals to B upon C, and the value of A and B is 6 and 18. So you write down 6 upon 18 equals to 18 upon C, and C is your third proportion. Okay. What are we going to do? We are going to bring C here and 18 on the other hand. So what will come? C will come this side in the numerator. Let this 18 be here only. This 18 is in denominator. When it will come here, it will come into numerator. 18 into 18. This 6 will go into denominator. Okay. Now we have 6 1s are 6. 6 3s are 18, right? And this is 54. So C comes out to be 54. Is that clear to you? So 54 is our third proportion. Now let's look at question number 3. So question number 3 says find the mean proportion between 4 and 6.25. Now this is slightly different from third proportion. Mean proportion, mean means beech wala, the center one, okay. Now as we know, the basic proportion is A is to B proportionate to C is to D. But in case of mean proportion, how are you going to write this? You're going to write it down as A is to B proportionate to B is to C, the same way as we did in third proportion, but here the values will be put in different places. Earlier we used the two numbers as A and B. Here we'll use them as A and C, and we'll actually find the value of B here. So this will be written as A by B, which will be equal to B by C, right? B into B will give us B square, which will be equal to AC. Now if I take under root on both sides, B will be equal to under root AC, or in simple layman language, if I say square when will go on the other side, it will become under root, right? Now what is the value of A and C? A and C is 4 and 6.25. So I'll put these values here. 4 into 6.25 equals to B. Now 6.25 can be written as, we remove the point and you put 100 in the denominator, okay? Now you don't need to multiply them, you need to simply take out the under root of it. What is the under root of 4? Under root of 4 is 2. What is the under root of 625? It is 25. What is the under root of 100? It is 10. Now if any one of you doesn't know the meaning of under root is a term, when we get the answer by multiplying it by same numbers. For example, 6 into 6 is 36. 2 into 2 is 4. 25 into 25 is 625. 10 into 10 is 100. So same number multiplied by same number, okay? So this is it. So 2 into 25 gives you 50. 50 by 10, 0, 0 gets cancelled. So 5 is your mean proportion between 4 and 6.25. Always remember mean proportion will be B, the center one. You can directly start from here. B square equals to AC. Okay? Now let's move on to the next question. Question number 4 on your screen. Let's understand this question. Question number 4 can be done by both ways, unitary method as well as ratio and proportion method. Now this is an exercise on ratio and proportion, so we'll do it only with the method of ratio proportion. Let's see what is the question. So the question says if 24 men can do a piece of work in 16 days, 24 लोग जो हैं वो 16 दिन में काम कर रहे हैं, okay? How long will it take 36 men to do the same work? Now this is obviously the common sense. If 24 men can do it in 16 days, if we increase the number of workers, or if we increase the number of men, they would obviously do it in less number of days, right? If 24 are doing it in 16 days, 36 should obviously do in less number of days. So there's a hint for you that your answer should be less than 16. If you're getting any answer greater than 16, that means your answer is wrong. Now this question is based on inverse relation. Inverse relation means if one increases, the other decreases. For example, if number of men increases, the days in which they will complete the work obviously will decrease, right? If the number of days is increasing, it means the number of people who are working has reduced. Okay, so this is inverse relation. Now how do we do it with the method of ratio proportion? Now always remember ratio proportion can be done with only same units. For example, here we'll write down the ratio for men, and here we'll write down the ratio for days. Okay, so we know that 24 men are doing a piece of work in 16 days. So 24 men. What is the other number of men given? 36. So we write down 24 upon 36. This is the ratio between the men. Now according to the question, 24 men are doing it in 16 days, but we will not write 16 in front of it because it is inverse relation. Inverse means reciprocal. So we'll write down X there. We do not know how many days. And 36 men were doing it in how many days? We don't know that. For that we have used X here. But 24 men were doing it in 16, and we'll write down 16 here. Only thing you have to remember is that जो person जितने days में काम कर रहा है उसके सामने वो नहीं लिखना है, ठीक है? You have to write it in reciprocal form. So 16 should have been in front of 24, but we'll write it below. Okay. X should have been in front of 36, but we'll write it in numerator. Now we'll cross multiply this. This will become 16 into 24 divided by 36 equals to X. Now 12 2s are 24. 12 3s are 36. 16 into 2 is 32. You get 32 by 3 equals to X, which means how much? 3 tens is 30. 2 is the remainder and 3 was the divisor. So 10 2 by 3 days is the time that 36 men will take to do this work. I hope you have understood this. A very simple one-step question. Just make the ratio between same quantities, and whenever it is work in time, you make sure that you write down the ratio in inverse form, that is in the reciprocal form. Okay. Now let's proceed to the next question. Question number 5. Question number 5 on your screen. Now this question number 5 is very similar to question number 4, just the values are different. So we'll just quickly see this question here. It says this 5 men can do a work in 12 days. 5 log jo hai, they are doing their work in 12 days, okay? And he's saying how many days will 66 men take to complete the work. Obviously it will take very less time, because see, just 5 men are able to do it in 12 days. Imagine if 66 men are doing it, how less time it will take, right? So we'll first write down the ratio between men and days. So here on left hand side I'm writing down for the men, on the right hand side I'm writing it for the days. As you remember, it's a question of work and time, so you have to use the inverse relations. So 5 men and 66 men. So 5 men we know can do it in 12 days, but we'll write down X days in front of it. 66 men are doing it in X days, but we'll write down 12 in front of it. The inverse relation concept, right? So 12 will go here. It will become 12 into 5 divide by 66 equals to X. We'll cut it by table of 6. 6 2s are 12. 6 11s are 66. 5 2s are 10. That is 10 by 11 days is the time that 66 men will take to complete the said work, which is obviously less than a day, because if the denominator is bigger than the numerator, your answer starts with point, or we can say the answer is less than 1. So they will take less than a day to complete the said work. Okay, now let's look into question number 6. Question number 6 on your screen. Now this is slightly different from work in time, but the concept will be same. Again, inverse relation will be used in this. It's a question about provision and the number of men. Provision is like whatever food or necessities they have. They might be in a camp or army camp or something like that, or in a closed atmosphere where they don't where they are not buying things every day, but they have stored it for a month or 6 months or something like that. So we say they have provisions for it. So a store has provision for 750 men for 30 days. I mean, a store has food and all necessities which can feed or be used by 750 men for how many days? For 30 days. Okay. Now he's saying for how many days will the same provision last for 360 men. Now if the number of men is reduced from 750 to 360, so how many days the provision will last? Obviously when the number of people is decreasing, the provision will last for longer duration, right? So your answer should be obviously greater than 30 days. If you get any answer less than 30, your answer is wrong. Now inverse relation, first we'll write down the ratio for men, and here we'll write down the ratio for days, right? For men it will be 750 by 360. Okay. For the days, we don't know how many days 360 men are going to take, so we write down X here, inverse relation concept. And 750 men were completing the provision or finishing the provision in 30 days, so we'll write down 30 in the denominator here. Okay. Now X will remain wherever it is. 30 will go into the numerator. It will become 750 into 30 upon 360, right? 0 and 0 will get cancelled here. 3 ones are 3 and 3 12s are is 36, right? Now let's cut it by 2's table. 2 6 are 12, 2 3s are 6, 1 carry, 2 7s are 14, 2 5s are 10. Again we can cut it by 2's table. 2 3s are 6. I'm so sorry, we can't cut it. So it is 275 by 6. Now this can be cut by a table of 3. How can we cut it by a table of 3? See, this is 375 upon 6. Now how do we check for the divisibility of 3? You add up all the terms. If the sum is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. For example, 7 and 5 gives you 12. 12 plus 3 will give you 15. 15 is divisible by 3, right? So this means this number is also divisible by 3. So 3 2s are 6 and 3 1s are 3 here. 3 2s are 6, 1 again carry, 3 5s are 15. So we have 125 by 2, which gives you how much? 2 6s are 12, 2 2s are 4, and 1 will be left. So 62.5 days is the time that 360 men will take to complete the given provisions. Okay, which is obviously greater than 30 days, and that's what I told you. Your answer should be greater than 30 days. So this is your answer. Now let's look into question number 7. Now question number 7 says two numbers are in the ratio 3:4. Alright. Then it says that if the sum of their squares, sum means addition and square is 625. Now as we already know, whenever two numbers are given, we assume them as, let's say, let the numbers be equal to 3x and 4x. Okay, whenever the numbers are given to you, add x to them if they are in ratio. Now it is telling you if the sum of their squares, so we are going to add them, sum, okay. Their square means 3x square and 4x square. Alright, what is the square equal to given to you? Square is given equal to you 625. So we'll write it down, 625. Now 3x square will be 9x square. This will become 16x square. And here we have the term 625. I hope no one has any doubt till here, right? Now 9x square plus 16x square will give you 25x square, which is equal to 625. Let's solve this further. So x square will be equal to what? X square will be equal to 625 upon 25. Now 25 is a 625. This is 1 this is 25 So from here we get the equation as x square is equals to 25, which means x will be equal to under root of 25, which will give you x value as 5. Now remember, this is not your answer. You were to find the numbers. What were the numbers? The numbers we had assumed as 3x and 4x. So what are we going to do? We are just going to put the value of x into 3x and 4x. So what does this become? 3x will be 3 into 5 and 4x will be 4 into 5. 3 into 5 will give you 15 and 4 into 5 will give you 20. So our two numbers are 15 and 20. Now let us look at question number 8. Now question number 8 says the sum of two numbers is 70, sum means addition, and difference is 16, difference you mean is subtraction, right? What will be the ratio of these numbers? So we have to first find out the two numbers and then we have to find the ratio between them. Now this is a question which is a compilation of two topics. One is your ratio proportion, the other is simultaneous equation. So first we'll have to find out the value of two numbers by using the method of simultaneous equation, and then we'll find the ratio. So first we'll put this English question into mathematics, okay. So it says sum of two numbers. Now let the numbers be x and y, and their sum means addition. So this is equal to 70. Alright. Then it is telling you that the difference between the two numbers is 16. So I'll write down x minus y is 16, the difference. Alright. Now let's add up the two equations. Okay. Plus y and minus y will get cancelled. Here you have x plus x, which will give you 2x. 70 plus 16 will give you 86. Right. Now x value will be equal to what? 86 by 2, which is going to give you 43. So one of the number, which was x, is 43. Now we need to find out the other number. So how can we find the other number? The other number, 43 plus y equals to 70, right? So y will be equal to 70 minus 43. So this will give you 27. I hope there is no doubt with that. So these are the two numbers, 43 and 27. Now you were supposed to find the ratio between them. That is, you have to find x by y. What is the value of x? X is 43. What is the value of y? Y is 27. So we will write it down as 43 is to 27. Because 43 is a prime number, we can't simplify it. So this will be our final answer. Now let us look at question number 9. So question number 9 says if the ratio of x and y is 3:1, alright. After 15 years, their ages will be in the ratio 2:1. So let's suppose x and y are two people, and when you divide their ages, you get the answer as 3/1, alright. Now after 15 years, if let's say today you are 10 years old, after 15 years you will be 25 years old, right? So the same concept, we have to solve this question. Now already the ages are given to you in the ratio 3:1, so we'll write down let the ages of x and y be equal to 3x and x. 1x means x only, right? After 15 years, now as I told you example, if you are today 10 years old, after 15 years you will be 25 years old. So after 15 years, 3x will be 3x plus 15, right? And x age will also increase by 15 years. So in x also we will add 15 years, okay? Now when you divide their ages, the ratio that you are getting is 2:1. So we will divide this and put it equal to 2:1. Now let's solve this further. So we're going to cross multiply this. So 3x plus 15 will remain as it is. On this side, this will go and multiply by 2. 3x plus 15 as it is. 2 into x will give you 2x, and this is 30, right? 3x, let's bring 2x on this side, isko minus kar denge, and let's take 15 on the other side, and we'll subtract it here. This gives you x, and this gives you 15. So the value of x is 15. Now what were we required to find out? We were required to find out their present ages. What were the ages that we had assumed? We had assumed it to be 3x and x. So we're simply going to put that value here. So 3 into 15, this will give you 45 years. And x is obviously 15, so this will be 15 years. So the age of x is 45 years, the age of y is 15 years. Okay? Now let us look at the last question of this video. It's question number 10. The question number 10 is saying to you that in a school, the ratio of boys is to girl is given 4:5. That out of every 5 girls, there are 4 boys. Okay? When 100 girls leave the school, the ratio becomes 6:7. Now, out of the school, if 100 girls leave for some reason or the other, then the ratio between boys and girls becomes 6:7. Okay? How many boys are there in the school? Now, we have to find out how many boys total are there. So, first of all, the number is given, so we'll assume the ratio between boys and girls to be in terms of x. So, let the number of boys and girls be equal to 4x and 5x, right? Now it is telling you that 100 girls have left the school and the ratio is now becoming 6:7, right? So 4x, this is the number of boys upon number of girls. Now 100 girls have left the school, so we subtracted 100 from the number of girls, right? And the ratio now is 6/7, so we'll write it equal to 6/7. Simple. Let's just cross multiply this here and here. So 7 4s will give you 28. So 28x equals to 6 5s 30. And 6 into 100 will give you 600. So this is what you're getting on cross multiplication. Now let's take 28 on the other side and 600 on the other side. So it's minus 600 comes this side, it becomes plus 600, and 28 goes on the other side. It becomes 30x minus 28x, which will give you 2x. So moving forward, 600 equals to 2x and x equals to 600 by 2, which gives you the number 300. So x is equal to 300. Now we were required to find out the number of boys. Now if you remember, the ratio between boys and girls was given 4x, 4 and 5. We had assumed the number of boys to be 4x, whereas girls were 5x. We only have to find the number of boys. So we'll just find out the value of 4x, which means 4 into 300. So the number of boys in the school is 1200. Okay. So with this question, we are ending this video. I hope you understood all the questions that we have studied. If you have any doubts regarding these questions, you can comment down in the comment section below. Thank you. This is Daljinder Singh, your mentor for mathematics.